France 24's Dave Keating is standing by. Hello to you, Dave. What more can you tell us about these restrictions that have been brought in by the Belgian government?
Well, this announcement has been expected for a while. Prime Minister Alexander De Croo has made no secret that he wanted to do this, and he brought that issue to the video summit of EU leaders last night, saying, I know that we agreed in June not to restrict travel within the European Union, but we really need to do something in response to this new strain. So the announcement he gave tonight would mean, just as you said, no non-essential travel. But the government has been really, really keen to stress that they are not closing the borders. De Croo said, we are not erecting a wall around Belgium. The trick is, how do you stop people from making non-essential journeys without erecting some kind of wall? It appears what's going to be happening is that the checks about the reason for your trip, which can include essential reasons like business travel, visiting a sick relative, education reasons, things like that, those will be checked at airports and train stations by the travel company that you're traveling with. But as far as we understand it, they are not going to actually close off the land borders like they did in the spring. The spring saw some very upsetting scenes of fences going up and splitting communities that straddle the Belgian-French border, Belgian-Dutch border, Belgian-German border. As far as we understand it, they are not going to be actually putting up roadblocks at those land border crossings. This is going to be mostly for long-distance plane trips. We'll see how this actually pans out. I think that a lot is going to depend on a proposal we're expecting from the European Commission on Monday, which is going to propose ways that non-essential travel can be restricted while, in theory, keeping borders open.
Dave, I mean, we're seeing the UK at the moment, asking for those all-important PCR tests. France then following suit with that. That's supposed to come in on Sunday. Can we expect other EU nations to kind of follow suit and go more along the lines in what Belgium has announced this Friday?
I think so. That is what I'm hearing leaders really had agreement about last night at that video summit. Nobody objected to the idea of starting to talk about restrictions across borders. I think the trick is they just don't want to get into a situation again like we had last spring, where you had unilateral closures, not coordinated with neighbors, and we saw a major disruption in trade and also in the ability of essential workers going back and forth across borders. Of course, in a lot of these borders within the EU, they are invisible borders. You just walk back and forth, and lots of people live in one country and work in another. That was all disrupted. So what they're gonna try to do this in the most non-disruptive way possible. We saw in France that's going to be done through quarantining and testing requirements. Belgium also will require 2 tests for anyone coming in, even for those essential reasons. You're going to have a test before you leave and a test when you get back. I think that countries are going to first try that testing route just so they don't risk that disruption. But if the testing and quarantine requirements isn't working, they may also go the same route as Belgium. But again, we'll see what the Commission proposes on Monday about how that can be done in the most non-disruptive way possible.
All right, Dave Keating, keeping us up to date from Brussels. For now, thank you, Dave.